ನಮ್ಮ ದೇಶದಲ್ಲಿ ನದಿಗಳಿಗೆ ಪವಿತ್ರವಾದ ಸ್ಥಾನ ಇದೆ. ಆದ್ರೆ ಇವಾಗ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಡೆ ಮಲಿನ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ನದಿಗಳು, ನಾವು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೀವಿ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಪರಿಹಾರ ಏನು? ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಸರಿಪಡಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋ ದಾರಿ ಹೇಗೆ ಅದನ್ನ?
Yeah, I've been looking at this aspect, how as people of this country, we have a huge emotional value to the rivers. Ganga, Narmada, even Kaveri, particularly Ganga. Even if you're dying, the last drop of water, you want Ganga Jal to go into your mouth. But also I've been watching how amazingly distressing it is that in spite of all this emotion, no action comes out of it, no correction happens out of it. We just do puja and then we will spit on the same place and walk away. Correct. We are in this kind of mode. So, I've given up this idea. Initially I was thinking we have to emotionally galvanize. I've given up the idea because this emotion, however sacred people think it is not producing results of any kind. So we want a mandatory enforceable law. Now you're talking about the pollution, but there is a more fundamental problem that river itself may not exist, forget about the pollution. But anyway, pollution is also an issue. I know everywhere people are talking about Ganga cleaning, Narmada cleaning, this cleaning, that cleaning. See, I want you to understand one thing. The rivers everywhere, particularly in India, because we are monsoon nation, our main water source is monsoons, which is fortunately happening. It sounds like music to me, but some people are worried, it's raining, how do I go home? Where do I find my auto rickshaw? What do I do? I see that, but it sounds like music to me because I know all life in this region is being replenished right now. This is not a problem. What you hear, the rainwater sound, is not a problem. This is the source of our life, especially the city people, I'm telling you. Because we made some kind of a rough survey, and what we find is 80% of the population which is below 20 years of age in cities, 80% of them have never seen a river. How's that? How do you tell these people, save a river? They've not seen a river. They think water comes in the tap. They don't like the rain because they have to go to cinema today. They're dressed up, they don't like the rain, they've not seen a river. How do you make a nation work like this? This is a very important thing. Those of you who have children, you must take your children out in the nature to see a river, to see a forest, to see a mountain, and they must understand this is how the world is made, not the way you see it in Bangalore, pee, 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 pee every minute. This is not the way world is made. That's the real world. This is not the real world. People think Bangalore city is the real world, mountain and forest and rivers are something. So, when you come to pollution, there is no need to clean the river. In one flood season, river cleans itself. Nobody needs to clean the river. Only thing is, the sewage is flowing into the river, and the main culprits are the cities and the industries. So this is very simple. See, right now in this Bangalore city, I'm just saying off the cuff, I may be wrong with the numbers, maybe I'm saying, in the Bangalore city, sewage may be going out in probably 500 outlets all over the place, into rivers, ponds, wherever else, into the ground, wherever. This 500 outlets, the government should take one responsibility to make it into, let us say, 50 outlets or 25 outlets, where a large amount of sewage will come to one place. This much the local corporations and municipalities must do for every city. For a large city like this, there can be 25 outlets. Smaller cities, there can be 10 outlets like this. You must consolidate. For this, certain amount of planning will be needed because right now we leave our sewage pipes whichever way we like. There is no planning, there's no plan as to where it should go, there are no gradients, there's no use of topographical features of the ground, simply our engineers dig holes and put pipes, they don't care where the water goes. Unfortunately, this is how we have engineered our cities, so there will be some amount of work to do to get this to consolidate. If you consolidate this, you can put out a global tender where there are companies which have the capability to treat water Even if you are letting out 1 billion gallons of water per day, they can treat it. There are companies to do this, they can set up that kind of thing. There are also Indian companies which can come up.
Water treatment plants.
Treatment plants. If you set up treatment plant, see now let us say in your home, let's say your home is receiving 1,000 liters of water in water pipes. You are paying for it, there's a meter for that, you're paying. So it's recorded. If you get 1,000 liters of water, very easily we can assume at least 500 liters of sewage is going out of your house. You're not drinking all the 1,000 liters. It is going out. So we charge you for 500 liters of sewage. Let's say 1 rupee per whatever, per liter. 500 rupees sewage treatment you're paying per month. If you are a domestic user, one way, business another way, industry another way, chemical waste another way, governments can arrive at the price. Now this money will be a huge amount of money collected from every citizen, because every citizen must understand for every service that you are being given, you need to pay. Then only you will also demand good service. Now if this happens, the treatment plant are very simple. We can easily set a standard that the water that comes out of the treatment plant must be of this kind of quality, and that quality can be measured minute to minute with electronic instruments today. And that water should go into the lakes and ponds and even rivers. The Singapore Prime Minister was demonstrating to somebody, and he takes a glass of treated water, comes out of their treatment plant, sewage treatment, and he drinks it as a demo.
My God.
Is it not time we do something like that? Those who don't treat it, they must at least drink it. So, this is all it takes. If the political will is there across the country, in 3 years' time, maximum 5 years' time, you can ensure not a drop of sewage enters the rivers. Treated water enters the rivers.
ಗುಡ್ ವೆಲ್ ಸೆಡ್. ವೀಕ್ಷಕರೇ, ನೀರನ್ನ ನಾವು ಜೀವಜಲ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ನೀರಿಲ್ದೆ ಯಾವ ಜೀವರಾಶಿಗಳು ಇಲ್ಲ. ನೀರು ಉಳಿಸೋದು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ತಾಯಿನ ಉಳಿಸಿದ ಹಾಗೆ, ನಮ್ಮನ್ನ ಉಳಿಸ್ಕೊಂಡ ಹಾಗೆ, ನಮ್ಮ ಮಕ್ಕಳನ್ನ ಉಳಿಸಿದ ಹಾಗೆ. ಈ ಒಂದು ಅಭಿಯಾನವನ್ನ ಸದ್ಗುರುಗಳು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ನಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರ ಬೆಂಬಲ ಇರಬೇಕು. ಇದು ನಮ್ಮ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಮಾಣ ಇರಬೇಕು. ನಾವು ಬೆಂಬಲನ ನೀಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂತ ನಾವೆಲ್ಲರೂ ಕೈ ಜೋಡಿಸೋಣ, ಈ ಅಭಿಯಾನವನ್ನ ಯಶಸ್ವಿಗೊಳಿಸೋಣ. ಸದ್ಗುರುಜಿ, ಮತ್ತೊಮ್ಮೆ ಈ ನದಿಯನ್ನ ಉಳಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದಕ್ಕೆ ತಾವು ನಡೆಸ್ತಾ ಇರುವಂತ ಈ ಒಂದು ಆಂದೋಲನಕ್ಕೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಜನರಿಗೆ ಏನ್ ಹೇಳೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಇಷ್ಟಪಡ್ತೀರಾ?
The most important thing is that it should be economically a sustainable model. That is what is unique about the river policy, the draft policy that we are preparing. See, the major rivers in this country run for approximately 20,000 kilometers. Out of this 20,000, about 25 to 26% is in government land. This 25% must become forest, there should be no question about this. The remaining 74–75% is farmland. Out of this, 6 to 8% is delta land. We don't have to touch the delta lands, we must leave it as it is. Paddy cultivation, something happens, it's fine. But the remaining 65% of the land, it's about 13 to 14,000 kilometers of plantation, which means about 28 to 30,000 square kilometers of horticulture and forest-based plantations, which can enhance the farmer's income anywhere between 3 to 8 times. This I am not saying the number just like that. We have built examples, we have built live models where farmers moved from crop-based agriculture to tree-based agriculture. This means their incomes went up by 3 to 8 times in about 7 years' time. Now there is a problem in this. The problem is first 3 years are difficult for the farmer. This is where the government comes in. These 3 years, the government needs to support the farmer. In the last 12 years, over 300,000, that means 3 lakh farmers have committed suicide. 3 lakh farmers committing suicide, I cannot understand how a nation can just sit and watch this happening. Even in a war, 3 lakh people don't get killed, but 3 lakh farmers have committed suicide in 12 years' time. People explain this off saying because the tomato prices crashed, that's why he committed suicide. Because the bank loan was there, that's why he committed suicide. No, agriculture has become a heartbreaking activity. because the soil is depleted and the water is not available. In this condition, doing agriculture is a heartbreaking activity. If you want, you go and ask any farmer, does he want his children to go into agriculture? Not even 15% of the farmers across the country will say, I want my children to go into agriculture. This means, in the next 25 to 30 years, when the old farmer dies, what are you going to eat, I'm asking? What is it that the Indian people are going to eat? 1.25 billion people we have, what are we going to eat? We must understand this. In the last 70 years, we have done many things. Many great achievements are there in this nation. We've built our industry, we've built our businesses, we are going to the Mars. But the most important achievement, the greatest achievement that we have done is, our poor farmer, with very little infrastructure and almost no technology, with just traditional knowledge, he's been producing food for 1 billion people. This is not a small thing. You and me have grown up because of him. But today, en masse, they're committing suicide. From April to August this year, 870 farmers committed suicide in Marathwada. Because the soil has depleted so badly, you can't grow a thing in that soil. 25% of India's agricultural land will become unusable in the next 3 to 5 years. In the next 20 years, it's estimated 40% of the land will become unusable. In the next 40 years, it is said 60% of the land will become unusable because we are turning soil into sand. Turning soil into sand, what it means is, to keep soil as soil, a minimum of 2% organic content has to be there. Right now, in states like Punjab, Haryana, Marathwada, some parts of Tamil Nadu, and also northern Karnataka and some parts of Andhra Pradesh, the organic content is 0.05%. This means almost nothing can be grown in this land. If you grow, let's say 1 ton of something, whatever crop that you grow out of 1 acre of land, what you have taken out is 1 ton of topsoil. How do you put it back? The only way you can put it back is the leaves from the trees and the animal waste. Trees we have chopped away long time ago. Animals are being slaughtered and limitlessly. How will you put back the organic content to the soil? Tell me, does it take some genius or just some sense? Too much science and no sense. This is our big problem. This is not some rocket science, because any agricultural family, they all knew if you own 10 acres of land, how many animals you need on the farm. This is something that we've always known. Today, somebody is coming and convincing you, you don't need animals on the farm, you don't need trees on the farm, you can simply grow with fertilizer. In 3 to 5 years, this land will become useless if you just use fertilizer. Moving from crop-based agriculture to tree-based agriculture is going to be a boon for the farmer. So one thing all of you should do is, at least 30% of your diet should become fruit. If you don't do this, fruit-growing farmer will commit suicide hanging from the same tree. It is time. If farmer grows more fruit, will you eat it? Please, every one of you make at least 30% of your diet into fruit. You will see your health will be better, you will sleep better, you will wake up early, everything will be great with you. You may even get enlightened. Now that you're here, all of you, and wherever else you are watching this television, I thought I must teach you this river chant. At least say this to yourself instead of looking up. Just say this after me.
ಗುರುಜಿ, ಮಜಾ ಟಾಕೀಸ್ ಬಂದಿದ್ದು ನಮ್ಮ ಒಂದು ಪುಣ್ಯ. ಐ ವಾಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಆನರ್ಡ್. ಸಣ್ಣ ಒಂದು ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಸೋ ಮಚ್. ತಾವು ಬಂದಿದ್ದು ನಮ್ಮ ಮಜಾ ಟಾಕೀಸ್ಗೆ ಒಂದು ಹಿರಿಮೆ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು. ಐ ನೀಡ್ ಯುವರ್ ಬ್ಲೆಸ್ಸಿಂಗ್ಸ್. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಗುರುಜಿ. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಸೋ ಮಚ್. ಇಟ್ ವಾಸ್ ಅನ್ ಆನರ್. ಇಟ್ ವಾಸ್ ಅ ಪ್ಲೆಜರ್. ವೀಕ್ಷಕರೇ, ನಾವೆಲ್ಲರೂ ಸದ್ಗುರುಗಳ ಜೊತೆ ಇರ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇವತ್ತಿನ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ ಮುಗಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೀವಿ. ನೀವು ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರಿ ನಿಮ್ಮ ನೆಚ್ಚಿನ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ ಮಜಾ ಟಾಕೀಸ್. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು. ಗುಡ್ ನೈಟ್. ಬಾಯ್.